Testing.
Check. Microphone check. 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is this thing even on? Check.
You're gonna bust my ears, dude. Relax.
All right. Just want to make sure. All right. Welcome, everybody. This is Elevated Mindcast. I'm AJ. This is Nick.
How's it going, everyone?
Thank you for joining us today. We're very excited. This is episode 1. We're pumped, man. I don't know what else to say. We're going to kind of dive into how this thing all started. But before then, my boy Nick would like to say something to you guys for the day.
All I want to say is if you guys are listening to us, going to work, if you're taking your kids to school, hope your kids have a good day at school. If you're taking your wife to school or to work, have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
To the toxicas out there that got up really early this morning.
Breach.
Yeah. To serve your toxicos lunch.
Lunch.
Yeah. Have a good day. And still manage to go to work. Woo!
Gee.
Toxicos. Keep them around. To my sconkas out there.
Skunks.
To the gorditas and gorditos. To the sucias and sucios.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a good day.
Yep.
To my 30, 40, and 50-year-old. I'm going to say it one more time. To my 30, 40, and 50-year-old people out there that have kids and still living with their parents. If you live in the Central Cali, there should be no excuse. It's still affordable to live around here. But you live in the Bay Area, LA, we could understand. But if you're 30, 40, 50, living with your parents and have kids,
Damn.
hey, still have a good day.
Better have a good reason.
To my operadas, for the ones that got a legit operadas, you know, you guys have a good day. To my other operadas that couldn't afford the legit BBL, you know, one nalga's bigger than the other or the chichi's bigger than the other, you guys have a good day.
Have a good day.
If you guys, anyone out there that's not making rent this month, you guys have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone listening, just have a good day. That's one thing people should know is just have a good day. Be nice to each other. Say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. That goes a long way.
We all woke up.
That's right.
We have air in our lungs. Thanks to Jesus, the God above.
Yep.
So yes, everybody have a good day. So we try to spread the love, no matter what your situation is, good and bad. We ain't judging. We're just here to just wish everybody a great day, no matter what happens. So let's dive into it, man. So the whole purpose of episode 1, I think, would be good to cover how this all started. How did we all come up with the idea of starting a podcast? I know it can be scary. I know it's nerve-wracking. It can get costly because you got to buy all this stuff, equipment, and plus it's just like any other business idea. You think, is this really going to work? How's this going to turn out? We don't know.
Right.
We don't know. But the more we kept talking about it, the more it was getting confirmed through visions and dreams. And it's just like it kept pressing at us to just go for it. So you know what? As soon as 2025 came around, I just felt like me and Nick had a serious conversation and be like, you know what, man, let's just do it. Let's dive into it. I just feel like we could put something out there to affect somebody. Maybe you guys who are big podcast people who are just always listening to different podcasts, just need something refreshing, need something new. We could be that podcast. I don't know. But if we are, hey, thank you for tuning in. We hope that you continue to follow us. And we hope to put some information. And we're learning as we go. So, you know, if it's a little sketchy for episode 1, it's okay. We're not perfect, man. But that's the whole point of just being raw and uncut. So anyways, let's dive into it. So the real question is, how did this all start? Back to that. So let's give a little bit background on how me and Nick met. We haven't known each other forever. We just happened to come across each other probably for the last, 8 years maybe?
About 8 years, yeah.
8 years. So long story short, him and I were in a blue collar. We worked in blue collar industry. And he was already in there. He had been there for a long time. And I happened to get hired through the same company. And just amongst all these guys, I just happened to come across him and Found out he was the only guy that lived in the town that I lived in, because where I grew up was a very small town, and I found out he was also from a small town. So we kind of connected in that way. Like, oh man, you're from there? All right, cool. So then, as time passed, we kind of would talk here and there, not too much. And then we did go to a point where we didn't talk for a couple of years because there was layoffs and things like that. I happened to be the guy that got let go, and so there was a time where we didn't talk for a couple of years, actually, between like 3 and 4 years. Right. But from time to time, we would talk and call each other and be like, hey man, how you been? Little did I know, Nick was going through some difficult times in his life. I didn't know. I wish I did, but that got him thinking through a lot of different things as well. And so, like, we've always believed everything happens for a reason. And so as 3 or 4 years pass, we end up linking up again. He ended up calling me, hey man, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? We talked about business. We talked about, hey, we thought about opening up a food truck. We thought about stock market. I mean, you name it, we've talked about it, because we just wanted to do something. During that time, that's when the pandemic hit. So then it really got nasty and hard, and it was just like, dude, what the heck? So, it's everybody got affected by it, man. It was rough. So, but as we got through the pandemic as best we could, as we all know, we got past it, and then we kind of just let it die out, continue working. I started with another company. Nick was still where he was at, thankfully. And then, 2024 came along, and that's when we really started talking about, let's do something, man. Let's do something. So the topic of podcast kept coming up because we noticed that we would watch people's podcasts, like a lot, like other podcasts that are out there. I'm sure you guys did the same thing we were doing. You started off, and then once you started to see, like, hey, man, people are actually starting to watch this, and this is cool. And, you start impacting people, and you're starting to see that people are interested in what you're talking about. We were like, hey, why not? Because, me and Nick hang out a lot, and we talk about some serious personal stuff, and we share each other's thoughts. And then it kept going to the fact of, for me especially, I was thinking more mental health. For men especially, let's just keep it real. Men don't have this thing in us to really open up to a lot of people. We tend to keep it inside a lot, and it's not healthy, man. It's not. Even for me, I've gone through a lot of difficult things in my life. Nick's gone through a lot of difficult things in his life. And we just felt like, hey, why not build some sort of platform called the podcast to allow dudes and even women to feel like they can come here and listen and then hear honest discussions, because we want to bring honest discussions about situations we've been through, unfaithfulness, hardships with work, financial hardships, you name it, man. We want to talk about it as best as we can. So here we are. 2025 started. We were like, let's just dive into it. We're taking a leap of faith right now, but we hope that this impacts somebody somewhere, and that you would continue to follow. And we're going to try to be consistent as possible as we learn as best as we can going forward. But we will dial it down, tweak it up, and we will learn as best as we can going forward. So that's how it all started. That's kind of like the background of how me and Nick met and how this came about. I don't know if you want to add to it.
Do you remember when we were going to the casinos and that's all we talked about?
Yep.
The whole hour there, the whole hour back.
Yeah.
Even playing the slots, we were like, hey, man, we could just talk about this. And it was just something that we had to do based on the conversation me and AJ had. It's just like, why not just do it? Pull the trigger. And 2025 came around, and AJ's out. He called me. He goes, I'm just gonna do it. He goes, let's just pull the trigger. I go, what do we got? What do we got to lose? I mean, So yeah, he was very serious about it. He went ahead. Okay, we're gonna start. We started buying the equipment. We have it all set up. It's legit to me. But yeah, he saw what I saw. Just the fact of impacting people's life. I think that's the major factor of this podcast. I mean, like he said, don't matter if you're a woman, no matter if you're a man, just anyone in general. Good laughs. I mean, we'll try to make you laugh. So
that'll be the reason why we kicked this off. So just to kind of talk about what our podcast is going to cover, at least for the majority of the part. Like we mentioned, we want to cover mental health. I think that's the number one thing mental health is very important, man. It's just sad to know that there's too many people that are taking their lives or want to take their lives or just going to a dark road just because nothing's working out for them, and they just feel like they have nobody to talk to. You know, it's sad. I don't like knowing that. So I've always tried to feel like we can create some sort of avenue or a platform to where they feel like they can turn to, and we can say something, just even cheer them up just a little bit, give them a little bit of hope for the day. Then we've done our job, and that was like the main thing. So mental health is one. Personal situations like discussions that we've experienced. You're gonna get to know us a lot more by sharing some personal situations we both have been in separately. We just want to be honest. If you're going to be honest with us, we would definitely want to be transparent and be honest with you guys and share some really seriousness that I've experienced a dark path for sure. I know Nick has had his own share of just going through darkness and how we came about it, man, how we came out of it. And then we want to share that with you guys as well, because I think it's important for you guys to understand who we are as people and why we're doing this. And we're not just some dudes that are just trying to be somebody that's a nobody. But honestly, we're just keeping it real. So we want to dive into some personal experiences. Third thing is try to end somewhat in the episode to kind of somebody today. Or, you know what, try to be nice to somebody, or tell somebody, hey, compliment them. Whatever it is, we're going to try to encourage some sort of encouragement to just be kind to one another. That's the biggest thing here as well. I think there's lack of love. If it's diminished a lot in this world. And it's very important, man. It's very important to be nice to one another, because just as the golden rule goes, do to others the way you want it done to you. So that's always the way I always look at life. It'll always come back, man, sevenfold, one way or another. You're kind of somebody else, you'll have something good come back to you, and that's truly what I believe. So that's another thing, encouragement. And anything else we're going to cover? Oh, the business thing. Talking about.
Yeah. We also want to use this podcast to, help out the community, businesses, barbershops, any type of business. If you're struggling, if we could help, find some way to help, we'll do it. During the holidays, there's a toy drive. We'll help. Also, if you guys have any questions or any concerns, leave them in the comments. AJ and I will try our best to answer them. And if you want it answered in a video, we will. Just depending on the question.
Yeah, we want to get to that point to where we pull up comments and really dive into you guys' questions and concerns, or even if something you just want to hear us talk about that you've never told anybody. We'll keep you anonymous if that's what it is. We're not here to shame anybody at all. We want to just try to help and give our points of views from two guys from a small town as best as we can. So, like Nick said, kind of back to what the purpose of this podcast is we also want to help eventually small businesses, up and coming people, because we're also considered like a small business.
Correct. Yeah.
And if God can provide for us, we want to be able to somewhat spread out the resources to everybody else. We get it, man. Up and comers who are trying to open up small businesses, whether it's car detailing, barbershops, restaurants, anything that's independent. We understand that you're trying to figure out how to get out there. So we hope that we can do that for you in the future. That's what Nick was mentioning in our intro video. If you watch it, we want to eventually get out there and introduce ourselves and be personal with you, kind of spend the day with you to see what every day is like, whether it be a restaurant again, or your barbershop, or a retail store, or car detailing business, whatever it is, we can help. We would definitely want to do that.
Also, this podcast is based on our opinion, so don't take it personal.
Yeah, don't take it personal.
It's just based on our opinion. Whatever questions we answer, it's just based on our opinion.
Yep. All right, guys. So we're going to kind of make this short. I think there's not much to cover for how this all came about, but there will definitely be more to come. We thank you for tuning in today. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. We want to hear from you guys, what we should be doing differently, or what we could add to this podcast. We appreciate you guys. Much love.
Sky to the sea.